Yo, what's up, my friends? It's Steve from Straight Fire Picks. We got best bets for NFL Week 13 on Sunday, December 3rd, 2023. We're going to have NFL player props, spreads, parlays, predictions here for you today. We got 5 picks that are great value bets for this Week 13 NFL slate. And we got our bonus bet parlay that I promised you from Thursday's video. We said if we lost that, we didn't officially lose the units yet. We got a bonus bet here for you today. If we lose that, it'll count toward our unit count if we lose that. But hopefully we cash them. They'll be for about plus 2 units for 10 for about $200. So hopefully that hits. That'd be awesome. But we got 5 other plays. If you are new to the channel here today, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We are on the road to 7,000 subscribers. Appreciate all of your guys' support here at the channel. You guys absolutely rock. It is so much fun doing this kind of stuff with you. And hopefully we'll have a very successful NFL Week 13. We need it. We want it. We did last week. Went 3-1 on NFL Sunday last week. So let's get like a 4-1 or 5-0. Be sure to also check us out on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, at StraightFirePicks for more content, recaps, things like that. Be sure to also drop your favorite pick down below in the comment section as well. If you like a pick included in our comment capper section, just be sure to put a star or an asterisk next to your pick, and we'll include your pick in the video if it hits. Okay, now results from the previous episodes. This is from Thursday Night Football. We ended up going 1-2. We cashed the CD Lamb anytime touchdown score. He got that early in the game in the first quarter. We'd love to see that. We missed on Smith-Njigba under 40.5 receiving yards. He ends up getting there late. He really should have had it in the first half. I mean, it was technically a drop. I guess that long touchdown catch that he had. It was debatable, but it looked like a drop to me, honestly. But he ended up still cashing the over anyway, so not a great call by us on that, guys. Then we had the Cowboys -9 spread. They just played with their food in this one. The Cowboys just didn't want to put this game away. Blew some coverages. Metcalf got loose in the secondary. Metcalf had 3 touchdowns versus the Cowboys. I did not see that coming. That was about plus 15,000 odds for him to get 3 touchdowns. So if you guys had that, let me know below. Because I didn't have that. Maybe 1 or 2, but 3 touchdowns for Metcalf. But like I said, 1-2, we missed our parlay. Parlay was super close. We had Cooks anytime touchdown. Our 3 of the 4 legs hit. The one that missed was the under 52.5. Unfortunately, we missed the parlay. So we got a new one here for you today. As far as the comment cappers, we had Erica Me calling the Cowboys money line with Dak Prescott over 1.5 passing touchdowns parlay. Cash that. And the Juice calling Aubrey over 2.5 extra points made. That cashed as well. So great calls from our comment cappers. Let's get after it today, though, guys. Let's get this 5-0 sweep and cash this not same game parlay, our NFL parlay for the NFL Week 13 Sunday slate. All right, let's get right into our picks here, guys. At number 1, we are going with a very familiar face at this channel, and he's actually 2-0 so far for us this season. We got Sam Laporta over 38.5 receiving yards here for the Detroit Lions, -114 odds on FanDuel. Guys, get this one early if you plan on taking it. I expect this line to move for sure. I think you're getting great value on this line. Laporta is over in 9 out of 11 games this season, 4 out of 5 games on the road. We love seeing that. Solid matchup with the Saints, who allowed the 11th most receiving yards to tight ends. We saw just a couple weeks ago TJ Hockenson go for 11 catches, 134 yards, and a touchdown versus the Saints. Obviously, the Vikings beat the Saints that day, and Hockenson had a huge game. And I can see Laporta definitely getting 50-plus in this game, guys. He's averaging 7.7 targets per game over the last 6 games, so I love that for a line like this. And the Saints for the year, guys, allowing the 9th most fantasy points to tight end. So also look at his anytime touchdown. I believe right now it's listed at plus 210. He's scored a touchdown in 5 out of his last 6 Dome games, which, Detroit plays at the Dome, so that's what we're talking about. So basically he scored a touchdown in 5 out of 6 home games. So honestly, that's why I like here he's in a Dome again. I think he'll have a chance to score officially his first touchdown on the road. It's about plus 210. So definitely be sure to look at that as well. But I love Laporta here, guys. Saints are really good versus the wide receiver position. So I'm expecting Laporta possibly to even get more looks than he normally would versus the Saints defense. So love it there for our number 1 pick. We're going Sam Laporta over 38.5 receiving yards here for the Detroit Lions. -114 odds here on FanDuel. Okay, and at number 2, we're going with Devin Singletary over 55.5 rushing yards here for the Houston Texans. -114 odds again on FanDuel. Great matchup for Singletary, guys. He's up against the Broncos, who allow the most rushing yards to running backs. we've heard a lot about how much the Broncos defense has improved, but not really versus the run. Jerome Ford of the Browns had 9 carries, 65 yards last week. Obviously, it's a pretty high. That's about 7 yards per carry. James Cook, 12 carries, 109 yards, same type of thing. And Alexander Madison, 18 carries, 81 yards. This is all within the last 3 weeks. So running backs easily cashing this line. I think we could see more of the same from Singletary, who has rushed for actually 100-plus rushing yards in 2 of the last 3 weeks. Now, he didn't have a lot of carries or yards last week, mostly because the Texans abandoned the run versus the number 1 ranked defense versus the run, the Jaguars. So that was kind of to be expected. But in the previous 2 weeks, he had over 100. So I think you can get back on track here. And I don't think you're going to see the Texans trailing by a lot in this game where they have to abandon the run or anything like that. C.J. Stroud's amazing. He's great. But they can definitely lean on the run a little bit here. So love it there for our number 2 pick, guys. We're going Devin Singletary over 55.5 rushing yards here for the Houston Texans, minus 114 odds on FanDuel. Okay, and at number 3, we're going with the Pittsburgh Steelers, minus 5.5 spread here versus the Arizona Cardinals, minus 118 odds here on FanDuel. I love this one, guys. I think this is a terrific spot for the Steelers to finally put it on someone at home. They are 4-2 at home against the spread with a minus 1.7 spread differential, which obviously isn't great as far as the spread differential. But 4-2 against the spread. Cardinals 2-4 on the road against the spread, minus 13.7 spread differential on the road. They get blown out a lot on the road. And honestly, with the way these teams are, the trajectory of each team, Zach Ertz just asked to leave the Cardinals. Kind of gives you an idea of where they're at. So he got released earlier this week. It's just not good for the energy in the building, right? The energy is just not very good in Arizona right now, and for a good reason. Kyler Murray came back off an injury. That first game back, they were kind of electric, right? They were excited to have him back. They looked kind of good for a little bit, and then they kind of just reverted right back into not being very good. They lost by 23 at home last week to the Rams. And the Rams aren't exactly the NFL's best, right? The Rams have 6 losses on the year, 6 or 7 losses on the year. They're not one of the NFL's best. So obviously the energy's not good. On the other side for the Steelers, they fired their offensive coordinator, Matt Canada, got a new offensive coordinator in Eddie Faulkner. His first game with the Steelers, they posted over 400 yards, which they haven't done in such a long time. So a lot of life was pumped into that team last week. You saw some down-the-field throwing from Kenny Pickett, which looked pretty good. If they can do more of that this week, it'll open up that running game, and it'll make this offense look a lot better, right? Because they have weapons. Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, Najee Harris, Jalen Warren. They got playmakers that can make plays. They just need someone to give someone the keys and unlock this offense. Because I think it's a little bit better than people think. I think we could see this Steelers offense really get loose versus this Cardinals defense, which is not very good. They're 31st in points per game allowed, so I think this is a good spot here for the Steelers. Get that offense rolling, continue to dominate on defense. Even if their offense wasn't good, I can see the Cardinals offense turning the ball over a lot here on the road in tough weather and all that kind of stuff, and really just struggling here on the road. So I think this is going to be a breakout party for the Steelers and their new offense. Their defense is going to continue to shine. I expect them to win this game by a lot more than 6, honestly. I can see them winning this by 20 plus. It'll be a little bit probably a surprise because, wait, the Steelers aren't playing a one-score game with someone? I think it definitely could happen. So, like I said, the energy will be there. I love the energy of the Steelers and the energy of the Cardinals, obviously, kind of going downhill. So, love it there for number 3 pick, guys. We're going Steelers, minus 5.5 spread here versus the Arizona Cardinals, minus 118 odds here on FanDuel. Okay, and at number 4, we are going with Mike Evans, anytime touchdown scorer here for the Tampa Bay Bucs, plus 160 odds here on DraftKings. Guys, we've got Mike Evans, 8 out of 11 so far this year to this line. That's incredible. That's a 73% hit rate, which obviously we love that for a plus 160 play. He's done this in 4 out of 5 home games, so we're getting him at the best venue as far as him being at home. His last 2 matchups with the Carolina Panthers, he's had 2 touchdowns and 3 touchdowns, by the last 2 matchups at home. So obviously we like seeing that. And the one game that he played in Carolina last year with Brady, you remember that long touchdown that he dropped, bobbled, and kicked. It was kind of, we've seen that one a lot. So he gets opportunities versus this Panthers team. I think he'll continue to. Despite the fact that the Panthers actually have allowed the 6th fewest touchdowns to wide receivers, I really like Evans today to deliver. He's just been so consistent. It's hard for me not to like him. He's garnered 31 targets over the last 3 weeks. That's the most in a 3-game span for him this season. So we like that. He's definitely getting the looks. Love the value in the spot, given the history versus the Panthers and the strong trends that he has this year. I think he gets it done again for us. So love it there for number 4 pick. We're going Mike Evans, anytime touchdown scorer here for the Tampa Bay Bucs. Plus 160 odds here on DraftKings. Okay, and finally at number 5, this one's going a little bit off the beaten path. We're going DeAndre Swift, under 53.5 rushing yards here for the Philadelphia Eagles. Minus 110 odds here on Bet365. This one's interesting because it kind of goes against the trends. I don't usually do this, but he is just 3 out of 11 to the under to this line. So strong trends to the over. 1 out of 5 to the under in home games. So it's obviously none of those things are good for us. However, they're up against San Francisco, who's allowed the second fewest yards to running backs. So we love seeing that. Second fewest rush yards. And this game script is a little bit different than what the Eagles are used to, particularly at home. This game script has the 49ers as 2.5-point favorites, which means we could see the Eagles playing from behind more, which could lead to them abandoning the run. And the thing is here, guys, Swift, a lot of times you'll see him get 12, 13 carries, 75, 80 yards. I don't see that happening versus this 49ers team. If he has like 12, 13 carries, I'm expecting like 39, 42 yards, something like that. He's averaging 14.5 carries per game. I think if he were to cash this line, I think he's going to need closer to 20, to be honest with you. I definitely feel that way. As 49ers defense, rush defense, isn't going to give up big plays. Swift, as we know, is a very capable running back, but I think the 49ers could hold him down here. Like I said, averaging 14.5 carries per game over the last 8 games. Like I said, I think he's just going to need more carries to get that done. And we could see the 49ers, I think the 49ers, once they got Deebo Samuel back, have been very dominant once again. Not to any real surprise. They look like a very dominant team again. So we could see the Eagles get exposed this game. So love it there for our number 5 pick, guys. We're going DeAndre Swift, under 53.5 rushing yards here for the Philadelphia Eagles. Minus 110 odds here on Bet365. All right, guys, as promised, we have our parlay here for Sunday, our bonus bet parlay. So I absolutely love this one. Now, if this one misses, this will count as a loss towards us as far as towards our unit count. So this is 0.10 units. You see $10. So plus 2,092 odds. 4 legs. We got Tyreek Hill, anytime touchdown. He's done this in 9 out of 11 games. He's up against the Commanders, who's allowing the most touchdowns to wide receivers. So I love the matchup here for Tyreek Hill. We got Jalen Hurts, anytime touchdown here for the Eagles. Maybe a little bit of insurance here on our DeAndre Swift bet as well. Touchdown for Jalen Hurts here in 8 out of 10 games out of his last 10 games. Love seeing that. 2 for 2 out of his last 2 games versus the 49ers. We had Devin Singletary, 70-plus rushing yards. We talked about why we loved him earlier. Broncos allowing the most rush yards to running backs. He's had 100-plus rushing yards in 2 of the last 3 weeks. Great matchup there for Singletary. And then finally, Mike Evans, anytime touchdown. Yeah, we're using that again. So we talked about why we love that. I think Evans could easily find his way into the end zone and make us very happy. So obviously, if we hit that, that'll be for plus 2 units. If we miss it, we'll only lose 0.10 units. So that's going to do it for our picks. I hope you guys enjoyed the picks. If you did, please be sure to drop a like and a subscribe for us. Make sure you guys share the video with your friends. Any of that kind of stuff that you guys can do helps us out a lot. Be sure to also follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, for more recaps, content, stuff like that. I post up a lot of interesting stuff on there. And be sure to also check out our Discord. It's absolutely free to do. You get more access to picks, the chat, all types of stuff. You guys can chat with me in there too. More than willing to answer you guys' questions. Any comments you guys have, drop them down below for me. Any recommendations, I'm all ears. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And we'll catch you next time. Peace out.